Whispers of Fernandez creep, Lincing goes that's complete. Dirty noise loud and clear, being God conquers fear. Feels like the end is near, extinguish yet another tear. Time is right, lift the global trophy high. Underneath the ring of lights, feel formations unify. World united till we die. Get it on! 25!
We are just 2 weeks away now from the 2025 Global Trophy Finals. We already have 16 of our teams that have made it to the Global Trophy Finals. We're about to add another 8, making 24 altogether. Welcome everyone to the third qualifiers of the Global Trophy 2025, the African qualifiers. I am Masterath and I'm joined alongside
Sam Elliott 64, and yes, of course, last week we witnessed history, a new Asian champion, and I don't think it was the Asian champion we were expecting. Kuwait, of course, going from the pre-qualifiers, not even winning the pre-qualifiers, to winning the Asian section over India, of course, who also didn't win the pre-qualifiers. So it was a pretty crazy finale, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what do we have? Like three of 4 pre-qualifiers finishing in the top 4. The only one that didn't was Iran.
Which is nuts to me.
Oh,
you know, we both thought Iran were going to get title number 4, didn't we?
And of course, Australia's out.
I know. Only the second time they've not made it to the Global Trophy Finals. Was it the third time now?
Second, I believe.
It is the second time. Yeah, they've lost a few games, but they've not. It's the first time since 2019 we're not going to have Australia in the finals at all, which is a bit of an upset to say the least. But we're not here to talk about Asia. We're here to talk about Africa, of course.
Yeah, and our reigning champions, of course, the Ivory Coast. We'll get to them a bit later. But let's kick off, shall we, Sam, with our dud team?
That draw costing them right at the death of the preliminary league.
Yep.
It is going to be Togo, the dud team.
Yeah, Togo, a team that has very recently, like in the last 5 years, been a Global Trophy finalist, is a dud team now.
I know, that's crazy, isn't it? It is absolutely crazy. But, you know, if their FIFA ranking was better, it's the old adage, isn't it, really? You know, they wouldn't be in this position. And of course, we expected them to do better than what they did. So, work to do it for Togo.
Definitely on that one. Hopefully a bit of reflection for the 2026 tournament. As obviously the Champion of Champions is after the 2026 tournament. So, yeah, if you're in with a shout, I guess, of getting to the Champion of Champions, you really do not want a bad performance in this tournament when it comes to that. A couple of these teams are certainly in that. Congo is not, but they could have a really good performance this tournament. Who knows?
Yep, they just about survived a scare, didn't they, right at the end of the African Preliminary League, and they did qualify for this stage, so let's see how they get on.
Could be good when it comes to... I'm pretty certain Congo in the last couple of years has been a Global Trophy finalist.
I believe they have as well. I think, you know, it seems like they would have been.
It was one of the Congos.
Yeah.
Next up, a team that usually has been nowhere near this, but man, what a counter-attack they did, and what a rise up the table they had in the preliminary league. It's Mauritania.
And of course, Mauritania, one of the teams that did have that amazing run at the end. They were the only ones out of them, Sudan and Tanzania, who did end up escaping the preliminary league with a strong performance right at the end.
Next up, the procurer of the most boring matches in the preliminary league, Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Sierra Leone, of course. 1-0 to the Arsenal rings a bell, doesn't it, really, with Sierra Leone.
But they are still here. Again, a team that, since we've been on YouTube, has made it to a Global Trophy Finals before. So, yeah, a little bit of pedigree there for Sierra Leone. Next up, 4th place in the preliminary league, it's Kenya.
Lower than we thought, but, you know, winning the preliminary league, as we've seen, it isn't a guarantee of, you know, qualification to the Global Trophy Finals. It is a means to an end. It is a pathway to just get to this stage. They don't need to win it. Here they are, fresh slate.
Yep, now they're in with hopefully a good shout when it comes to the rest of the big teams. Next up, well, they were certainly in the title contention for a while, but then they dropped off quite significantly, but not enough to go any lower than 3rd place. It's Big Green, Libya.
Yeah, Libya, of course, did start off with a perfect 8-0 record, and they kind of fell off massively towards the end, but had got enough points in the bag to get to this stage.
Next up, the more conservative team of the top 2 that both finished on 40 points. Oh, sorry, hang on. Just need to sort that out quickly. To end on 40 points. But they were more conservative, so yeah, they didn't have the better goal difference than our our champions of the preliminary league in Africa. It's Zimbabwe.
Yeah, Zimbabwe were excellent, and they almost went unbeaten through the whole competition, but lost in their penultimate game to the eventual winners, who, of course, Estonia representing Comoros. Even though they had the dud team, didn't they, as their final game?
Yeah, you'd thought maybe they would have been safe, but no, they weren't. They lost on goal difference, I think by like 15 goals in goal difference.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
To now 2-time preliminary league winners, and of course, former African champions. The first team ever to be in the preliminary league, qualify through the preliminary league, and then go on to win their qualifiers in the same year. It's Comoros, being represented by Estonia.
Yeah, of course, we were saying when the preliminary league was happening, they're the only team ever to have done it, you know. Now someone else has done it, so can they do it for a second time? It would be a big ask. You know, Lithuania, with respect to Estonia in this game, Lithuania are a much, much better team than Estonia are in this game. But you never know. Strange things have happened.
So you never know on that one. And now to a team that barely survived being in the... well, they were close to being in the preliminary league this year, but they were able to stay high enough. It's Madagascar.
They have been in the preliminary league a few times in the past, and I want to say they're pretty bad. They are bad in this game, aren't they? They're not good.
Well, let's put it this way. They're known for a film more than anything, so they have about as much in common as Scotland.
Brutal.
They have as much in common as Scotland, so there you go.
Good old Braveheart.
Yeah. I wonder if... Because I know a bunch of Scots, and they hate Braveheart with a passion.
Do you reckon the Madagascans hate Madagascar? Is that what you're trying to say?
Maybe?
Maybe. There's every chance.
They're probably just there going, what is that? Next up, it is Mozambique, or Mozambique.
Yep, Mozambique. Like Hyacinth Bucket.
Well, no, if they speak French, it works.
True.
If it's a French country, which I don't know whether it is.
I believe they were a French colony once.
Ah, so there you go.
I don't know if they still are. I don't know if they still are.
So it is Mozambique, but you know,
right.
Mozamburger King doesn't sound as good. Next up, it is Uganda.
Yep, Uganda. I think they have been on the peripheries of qualification in the past, but not quite managed. I want to say they've also been pre-qualifiers in recent years.
I think they might have been, but I don't think it has been for a while. But they certainly been close on that one.
Yeah.
Next up, it is Zambia.
They have been qualifying to the Global Trophy finals a couple of times in the last few years, haven't they? They've been pretty good. One of the teams to watch out for in this, they have been. I think they beat Nigeria a few years ago, didn't they?
I think they might have done. Yeah, I think they might have.
I think they knocked Nigeria out and meant that Nigeria didn't qualify for the finals.
Next up is Benin.
Benin, yeah, of course, a regular favourite of ours in the Global Trophy. They tend to do okay. They're all right.
Yep. Next up, it is now. Here's a big team. I'd say Angola.
Yeah, I agree. Angola. They have been since we've gone onto YouTube. They've been a pretty regular, consistent qualifier. And I think didn't they get in the Champion of Champions? Angola.
They did. They did in 2022. Yeah.
There you go. So there's pedigree there. Of course, they were in the last Champion of Champions. Maybe they can get into the next one as well. Who knows?
Yeah, they haven't had a great couple of years, but really, if they could have a good performance like they did last time, I think they were like ranked in the 130 odds at one point. But yeah, then they moved up within 4 years to like ranked 20 odd, and at the moment they're ranked. Well, they're FIFA ranked 90. I haven't got what their Global Trophy ranking is to hand, but it is certainly very good. I think they're probably higher ranked than England.
I mean, most teams are.
England are like 67th, I think. which is not
It'll be
great,
higher
but
this year.
still.
It'll be higher next year.
Oh yeah, behind. It's certainly behind next year. Next up are one of two teams of the Guineas. It's Equatorial Guinea. Guess where they're situated?
Is it on the equator?
No, it's on the latitude
On
158.
one of the tropics.
It's on the latitude 158 or whatever. I don't know. I just know geography flags. I don't know like all the latitude, longitude, altitude. Well, I know altitude. That's bloody.
That's height.
That's height, innit?
That's the Z-axis. Yeah.
I shouldn't know too much about it because bloody hell, my latitude never became that good.
Mine did.
Good for you. No, instead my latitude and longitude became good. Yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course. Guinea-Bissau, of course, they were nowhere near qualification this year, and so there's only 2 Guineas this time. We normally get 3, but no, just the 2 this time.
Yeah, and they've both done, I think, quite well. I think.
I agree.
In the actual ones. And speaking of doing quite well, again, they're always a dark horse, I'd say, in Africa. It is Gabon.
Of course, the team represented by Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but with him kind of, he's starting to get a bit older these days, isn't he, Pierre? Yeah, may not be so high in the rankings in a few years' time.
Yeah, Gabon certainly dropping down in those FIFA rankings, which has meant that Guinea are now above them in 77th.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. One of the other Guineas, of course.
Yep, the highest ranked Guinea by 11 ranks.
There you go.
Next up, we get to, I believe in the Champion of Champions, you called this team your heroes. It's Burkina Faso.
Oh, they are, mate. They are my heroes. With the capital city, Ouagadougou. Come on now. How
Great.
can you not like that?
Great one, yeah. But also, in 2022, they were in the Champion of Champions. And they were ranked 32.
They did all right as well. They won a few games.
Didn't they make... Hang on. Burkina Faso made it the top 8 in the Global Trophy Finals one year, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Yeah. That's why they were in it. Anyway,
I want to say they beat... Was it New Zealand that they beat to get there?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes.
Because New Zealand had a chance to do what Australia had never done, and Burkina Faso beat them.
That's the one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. See, sometimes I can remember things.
Yeah. Next up, we go from Sam's heroes to Sam's honeymoon destination.
Cape Verde, yeah, or Cabo Verde, as the locals would call it. Now, fun fact about Cabo Verde, right? In the last AFCON, so last year's AFCON, the African Cup of Nations, they finished. Where did they finish? They were semi-finalists, I believe. Let me just check. I'm just going to check quickly.
Yeah, I know they did quite well.
They did like they were. Yeah, they were losing semi-finalists, I believe, to was it? No, it wasn't. They were losing quarter-finalists to South Africa, but still, Cabo Verde, a tiny, tiny little set of islands off the west coast of Africa, got to the quarter-finals of AFCON is crazy. Like further than Morocco, who were World Cup semi-finalists the year before. Yeah, that's nuts to me.
It's always
that is crazy.
It's always great when one of those runs happens, really, isn't it?
Team, they do pretty good, like a lot. I would like to see them at the World Cup. That'd be fun.
That'd be great. Next up, FIFA rank number 60. This is high for them. It's Congo DR, the Democratic Republic of Congo, to be precise.
They also had a decent run at AFCON, I believe, as well. So no wonder they're a bit higher than most. I wouldn't be shocked to see them do quite well here as well. They do tend to qualify. Yeah,
they do. They usually do quite decently. Next up, rank 53 in the FIFA rankings is Mali.
Yeah, good team as well. You know, they've had players in the past like Naby Keita, of course, he's not too great these days, but they've had other players as well who have been pretty good for Mali.
Next, well, they don't do well these days, but they are a big team in the Global Trophy when it comes to Africa. It is Cameroon.
Yeah, Cameroon, huh? So they are 5-time African champions. They won in 2005, 2007, 2009, 2012, 2014. They are losing finalists in the Global Trophy as well, twice.
Consecutive,
losing
if I remember correctly.
Which is crazy. They are an absolute powerhouse in the Global Trophy, but in the FIFA rankings, they've dropped right down.
51.
Yeah, that's nuts. They used to be so... Do you remember we used to have, like, was it Aliou Cisse? They used to have, obviously, Samuel Eto'o they used to have as well. They had some amazing players. Vincent Abubakar as well. I remember him being pretty good for that. They beat Brazil, didn't they, at the last World Cup? I'm sure they did. In the group stage.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Didn't their goal scorer get sent off?
Yeah, it was Abubakar. He scored the goal.
Abubakar, yeah.
He took his shirts off.
And he was already on a yellow.
He got sent off. And they still won. Won, which is great, obviously.
It was a brilliant conversation.
And the ref shook his hand, didn't he?
Yeah, between Abubakar and the referee was just sort of like, yeah, celebrate. Oh, yeah, okay, I'll get sent off. Nice to meet you, pal. I'm off.
I think, he felt kind of sorry for him because it's like, it's obviously an amazing moment. You score against Brazil. It's Brazil, right?
Yeah.
You score against Brazil, and then the ref's going, "I've got to send him off, mate." It's the rules.
It's like, sorry, mate.
Fair enough. Yeah.
If this World Cup was more corrupt than it actually is, I would just go nah. But unfortunately, you're not from Qatar, so sorry. Next up, we have Algeria.
Yeah, brilliant footballing team. So they've got some spectacular players as well, like Riyad Mahrez. Obviously, he plays in Saudi these days, but he's a bit of a baller, isn't he?
Yeah, certainly very good, Mahrez. Very good. I still remember my FIFA save, and I had him on Ultimate Team. Centurion Riyad Mahrez. He was my wing. He was one of my wingers. Who'd have my other wing? Oh yeah, Phil Foden was on my other wing.
Nice, good choice.
To go alongside David Trezeguet. Icon David Trezeguet up front.
Nice.
Quite liked it. Next up, the last team that didn't make it to the Global Trophy Finals last time round in Africa. It's ranked 41 in the FIFA rankings, Tunisia.
Yeah, Tunisia have been pretty decent, haven't they, in the last... I think they qualified for the last 2 World Cups. I know England played them in 2018.
I know Tunisia usually do quite... They qualify for the World Cup more often than you'd expect.
They do. Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good at Tunisia.
So now we get to our top 8 that all qualified for the Global Trophy last time round, and we kick off with FIFA ranked 98, but it doesn't care to them. They were still able to make it here anyway. It is Namibia.
Yeah, they did really well last time around. They managed to get into that top 8. And as I said, it's not about, I think, were they pre-qualifiers the year before? They might have been.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were last year's kind of pre-qualifiers to successful qualification to the Global Trophy, which is always what you want to see.
Yep, knocked out by Morocco in the quarterfinals last time round. Next up, it is Egypt, who were knocked out by South Africa last time round in the quarterfinals.
Egypt, man. I mean, they've only got one big player in current world football, but what a player Mo Salah is, right? And I know you have your issues with Liverpool, but he is just an absolute machine, isn't he?
Well, it's a good thing. Well, it's a good thing there's not too much wind around, or it'd fall over. But yeah, if he stays on his feet, he's a great player.
The guy's an absurd production machine. He just scores so many goals.
But as fragile as a moth's wing.
Yeah, but I hate moths, so...
I love moths are great.
No, they're annoying. They're annoying.
They're just, but... Well, okay, to be honest, moths, right, are stupid.
They are really stupid. They just want lamp. That's all they want.
Yeah. Who would go towards an open flame and just go, I want some of that?
A moth.
A moth does, but it's just a little bit sort of like, I don't know, sort of like a bit of sympathy about just how helpless they can be sometimes. So just a bit of sympathy when it comes to that. I mean, steer clear of my clothes, you pricks, but, apart from that. Also, I've seen the videos of, the giant moths, and they're just there going, it's great. They're cuter as long as you just put the sound effect of them going, Great. Next up, getting. How do we go from? Oh yeah, I brought that in. Then we went from Egypt to Mo Salah to moths. Well, they do have wings, and Salah's also on one, so there's a connection. Next up, it is. Well, we got a big team here. We got Senegal.
Yes, Senegal are 4-time African champions now. They won the African title in 2008, 2010, 2018, and 2023. And of course, in recent years, have been pretty handy in the Global Trophy finals as well. They've beaten teams such as Brazil in the Global Trophy finals. They are one of the teams where if they can qualify, they could absolutely win the Global Trophy. There is no doubt in my mind they could do it.
Yeah, they are certainly in with a chance on that one. Yeah, that win against Brazil got them into a top 8 I think 2 years ago, if I remember correctly, wasn't it?
I think so. Yes, they went on to lose to Italy, I believe.
Yeah. And in this tournament, or in the qualifiers last year, they were knocked out by runners-up Nigeria in the quarterfinals. Next up, it is Ghana, knocked out to one of the victims of the reigning champions last year.
Yeah, of course, Ghana. The shockers of years gone past. They were a third-placing finisher once upon a time. They beat France, Italy, and Saudi Arabia in the Global Trophy finals. Couldn't make it all the way to the final, though. Knocked out in the semi-finals.
Yep, but a legendary giant killer run for Ghana. And this is pretty much the 20th anniversary of that.
I know. Crazy run.
Could we see another one from Ghana? It's been a while. Maybe we get to see one. Next up, semi-finalists in the African section last time round. World Cup semi-finalist Morocco.
Yeah, and I think they did all right in the Olympics as well, Morocco. I think we want to say there was semi-finalist as well. Maybe bronze medalist. I can't remember. Yeah, Morocco, a team to watch out for, certainly.
Certainly is. And next up, we have the team that lost to Ivory Coast in the semi-finals last time round. It is former African champion South Africa.
Yep, one-time champions in 2021. It was kind of from nowhere, really, that South Africa won it. They were they've never really been a powerhouse in the global trophy, but the fact that they kind of launched themselves right up the rankings with the African title is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it now puts them into our top 20, alongside this team, who is, let's be honest, they're the biggest team in Africa. The runners-up of the African section last year, 6-time, I believe, African champions.
You're correct, yeah. No, 7-time, actually.
7-time African champions, Nigeria.
Yep, they won in 2006, 2011, 2013, 15, 16, 17, and 20 as well. So, yeah, they've overtaken Cameroon as the most successful African team in Africa. They've also been runners-up in the past in the Global Trophy in 2006, and they were runners-up in the very first Global Trophy Champion of Champions, losing to Brazil in the final in 2018.
And last but not least, for the first time, we give to you the reigning African champions of the Global Trophy. Finally, after 20 years, the Ivory Coast.
Yeah, they deserved it last year, didn't they? They are now part of, I think, the big four of Africa is what we've described them as now, because it was the big three, Senegal, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ivory Coast. Winning that title has earned them a place with the rest. So, yeah, good luck to them as they will take on, well, hopefully, a title defence.
See how it goes for them. Hey, did it again!
I'll tell you what, every single one so far has been first time.
You just know that the final's going to be crap.
Oh, awful. The worst. The worst.
Right. Nigeria's off to a very good start, I'll say. So, could be good for them.
I will say, if you look at this side of the bracket, like...
Oh, that's actually very easy for Nigeria. It's not great for... Like
everyone else. Everyone else is at the bottom.
Where's South Africa? Where's the Ivory Coast? Where's Senegal? Where's Cameroon?
They're all at the bottom. That's so. Let's face it. I'm going to say it right now. Nigeria will be in the final. I'm going to say it right now.
I mean, Gabon would probably be one of the only teams I think that could stop them.
Maybe Algeria. Maybe Kenya.
Possibly Algeria or Kenya. They've got Uganda to kick off though.
No, and I'm going to say no. Nigeria are going to win.
Okay, going for their 8th title. They didn't get it last time, so they could this time. Good start for them, 5-0. Good start for Nigeria.
Absolutely good start for Nigeria. We have 2 pre-qualifying teams head-to-head. Poor teams. They've both got to, they've got to win, but at what cost? Congo, of course, finishing 7th. Mauritania finishing 6th in the preliminary league. Take on Nigeria in the next round. Poor guys.
One of these two will be in with a slim shout, but a shout nonetheless, of making it to the Global Trophy Finals. And it will be Congo. A win on penalties, and Mauritania's run ends at the first round.
That's a shame. Congo recovering well after just surviving in the preliminary league. They will play Nigeria away in the next game. Oh dear.
Such a shame. Zimbabwe, who finished 2nd in the preliminary league, will take on Benin, who are one of the lower-ranked sides that automatically qualified, but still, they did automatically qualify.
They did on FIFA ranking. Zimbabwe, of course, they did really well in the preliminary league. Can they progress to the next round?
Yep, only losing out on goal difference in the title chase. They do win 2-0. Benin out.
Yep, Benin eliminated. Zimbabwe through to play either Democratic Republic of Congo or Gabon in the next round.
Gabon, mid-table, I guess, when it comes to it, but when it comes to the Global Trophy, they're really good. Democratic Republic of Congo, also quite decent as well. It is Gabon, 2-0. They will take on Zimbabwe in the second round.
Yeah, opportunity for either of those two teams to qualify for the Global Trophy finals. Togo will give Angola the bye win, so that's the end of Togo's run. Angola, of course, the very, very attacking formation 4-2-4.
Oh yeah,
I love that from them. Angola have an opportunity to qualify once again for the Global Trophy finals. I think they've qualified only twice in their history. Oh my God, he's there again.
Of course.
He's there again.
Of course.
He's back.
Okay. What I said in the preliminary league is complete bunk because I did not reset the game.
No.
I did not reset the game because, spoiler warning, we just did the preliminary league in recording. We record out of sync.
We do indeed. We do. It's just to make it a little bit more fresh for us.
Yeah.
It's Pedro Neto. Sorry, is Pedro Neto on the pitch?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
Why not?
Anyway,
Change nationality, sure, why not?
but again, Angola were a Portuguese colony as well. Once upon a time.
Would Neto have played for Angola?
No, he's Portuguese though, isn't he?
Yeah. All right, Mozambique versus Guinea in our next match.
Yep. Two teams qualifying via FIFA rankings to take on Angola in the next round.
Mozambique barely scraping through just ahead of Madagascar. And they're out now, though. Guinea through to the next round to take on Angola. So one of those two is going to be in the Global Trophy finals. I don't think Guinea's been there for a while. This could be their best shot.
No, I agree. And Angola, of course, they've only made it twice in their history, but this is an opportunity for their third time. And all three times have been on YouTube as well, which is pretty cool.
Certainly a big resurgence for Angola. And if they want to make it two champions in a row, they're going to need that to get through to the finals. Kenya and Algeria next up.
Algeria probably the favourites, although Kenya, of course, the pre-qualifiers who underwhelmed, it's fair to say, but they've got an opportunity here to get past Algeria.
Yep, Kenya did finish only 4th. They will do it, though. Algeria is gone.
They are out. That's a big shock for me. Algeria, one of the better teams in Africa, eliminated Kenya. Their pre-qualifiers will take on either Madagascar, who are, let's face it, pretty awful, and Libya, of course, another pre-qualifier. So we could have a pre-qualifier going through here.
Yep, Libya's terrible form, though. Could that be something that Madagascar can pounce on? No, Libya through, so we will have a pre-qualifier into the Global Trophy Finals from Africa.
That's 3 from 3 then. So Europe has got one, Asia has got a lot, and then obviously Africa is going to have at least one. Maybe we'll get more later on.
Yep, Namibia now, who finished 8th in the preliminary, not in the preliminary league, in the qualifiers last year. They did qualify. Zambia are their opponents in the second half of the brackets.
Tough match for Namibia this one. I think Zambia are probably the favourites.
Yeah, certainly say that one. Never mind.
Wow.
Namibia through, and they will take on either Egypt or Cabo Verde.
I think Egypt are the favourites here. As sad as it is, I think Cape Verde are going to struggle here.
3-0, Egypt through, and that sets up Cameroon versus Tunisia next. Egypt will take on Namibia for a chance to go back-to-back.
Yeah, good opportunity for Egypt. Cameroon, a big opportunity here, but Tunisia are not going to be an easy opponent. Cameroon, they have to win this, surely.
Certainly do. It is 2-0 Cameroon, but that will set up Equatorial Guinea versus Senegal, so we are going to lose another big team in round 2, no matter what, maybe 2.
Yeah, we're going to lose at least one of Cameroon and Senegal. One of the big 4 are going to be eliminated, but Senegal have to get past Equatorial Guinea first.
We certainly do. That'll do it, 15-0 Senegal. That's big.
That's a statement, isn't it? That's a massive statement from Senegal. They will go through to place Cameroon in the round of 16. Mali take on our current African champions, the Ivory Coast.
Yep, high-ranked team in the FIFA rankings versus the reigning African champions. And it is the Ivory Coast. They will go through to the second round, but they've got Ghana or Sierra Leone. It's a tough clash, I'd say.
Yeah, Sierra Leone, of course, the pre-qualifiers, only just pre-qualifying in 7th place, I believe they were.
5th.
Oh, sorry, 5th, ignore me then. And Ghana, of course, the great upset team of years gone past.
Yep, the 2-decade anniversary of the giant killing run. Could we be seeing another one? Ghana through to the second round and take on the Ivory Coast.
2 more big teams then as Morocco take on South Africa. South Africa, of course, former African champions. Morocco have never won the African title in our penultimate game of the round of 32.
Yep, both teams made it to the semi-finals of the African section last time round, losing out to the top 2, of course. Morocco will knock out South Africa to make it to round 2 to take on either Burkina Faso or the champions of the preliminary league, Comoros.
I don't know who the favourite is here. Maybe Estonia, but it's going to be difficult for Estonia to beat Burkina Faso.
It's going to be a tough one. It is Burkina Faso, so out will go Comoros in round 1 and Burkina Faso through to round 2 to take on Morocco. That's going to be a big match, that is.
It is going to be a huge match, but look at that then. So we've got some big teams have gone already. Of course, South Africa are out, the former African champions, the only, well, of course, other than Liberia, but Liberia didn't even get to pre-qualify this year. So we're going to lose at least one more in Cameroon and Senegal, but I've already said Nigeria are going to make the final, so let's see how they get on with Congo, the pre-qualifiers.
Congo, who finished 7th in the preliminary league. Nigeria, 7-time champions. Yeah, that will do it. Nigeria's through to another Global Trophy finals and looking for their 8th African title.
Yeah, they've got a nice run to the final, haven't they? It'd be a bit of a surprise if they didn't make it that far.
Certainly. Zimbabwe versus Gabon. Can the runner-up succeed where the champions failed at the preliminary league, or will Gabon make it to another Global Trophy final?
A big ask for Zimbabwe, isn't it?
Gabon win 4-1 to set up Nigeria in the quarterfinals, and they're through to another Global Trophy finals for Gabon.
Yep, they'll be very, very happy with that. Gabon, Angola and Guinea next up, of course. Angola were the recipients of the bye match against Togo. Guinea, not been to the Global Trophy finals for a hot minute.
A long time for Guinea. Angola, the team certainly on form. Can Guinea prove a shocker? No, Angola through to their 3rd Global Trophy finals.
They're on good form, aren't they, Angola?
Certainly are, and they're going to be joined by a pre-qualifier. Kenya or Libya?
The Big Green taking on Big Kenya.
They're taking on the Special K. It is Kenya. They are through to the Global Trophy finals again.
Yep, the Big Force, Kenya through. Libya will have to pre-qualify again next year, I'm certain of it.
Namibia. They made it to the Global Trophy finals last time round. So did their opponents, though. It's Namibia versus Egypt. Both teams were quarter-finalists last time round.
I think Egypt's probably the slight favourites here.
Certainly say that one. 2-0. Egypt through to their consecutive Global Trophy finals for them. Namibia, they might have to pre-qualify. We don't know yet, but they certainly might have to pre-qualify next year.
It's going to be a tall order for them, but yep, Egypt are through to the top 8. Now, this is the big match of the round of 16, isn't it?
Speaking of tall orders.
Yeah. They have 9 African championships between them. Cameroon and Senegal, 2 of the big 4. Only one can go through.
Senegal did make it last time round. Cameroon, I think 10 years without an African title.
More than that.
Yeah, they dominated the first 10 years. They're out again! Senegal! Through to another final.
Wow. Cameroon, the downfall of Cameroon in the Global Trophy must be studied because they have been... I mean, they've dropped down through the rankings, like, massive. They were above Nigeria at one point. You know, Nigeria are now 6th in the rankings. Cameroon are barely in the top 10.
Yeah.
They may drop out of the top 10 this year if things go against them.
Yep. Okay. Can the champs make it to another? Or will it be, again, the 20-year anniversary of their giant killing run? Can Ghana force their way through and take out their first giant? No! The Ivory Coast will make it to the Global Trophy finals again. And Ghana, well, 20 years. They have to wait a bit longer, I think.
Yeah, no giant killing fairy tale for Ghana this time. If you look at who's gone through, though, Nigeria, Gabon, Angola, Kenya, Egypt, Senegal, Ivory Coast. Lots of big teams for Africa.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
one more
it's quite
could
a big
join
spread
them.
there.
Yeah, one more could join them. Morocco are probably the red-hot favourites here against Burkina Faso, I think.
Certainly, semi-finalists last time round in this section. Burkina Faso, of course. Oh, they love to pull a shocker, though, don't they? They haven't done it this time, though. Morocco through to another Global Trophy Finals, which means there's our top 8. That's a strong top 8 for Africa, I think.
Yeah, I think the only one you'd probably swap is maybe Egypt, Angola, or Kenya for Cameroon, and maybe a South Africa in there as well. But even then, that's really good.
Probably Kenya and Angola for South Africa and Cameroon.
That's about it.
Yeah,
maybe about it.
Yeah. Maybe Tunisia for Gabon.
Maybe, but even then, like Gabon's pretty good at this level.
Well, let's see then. Nigeria, they're at the same spot again. We could have a rematch from last year.
I think we could do. Nigeria are the red-hot favourites to get to the fight. I'm still convinced they're going to make it.
Yep, they will take on Gabon first in their potentially their 8th championship winning run. They do go through to the semi-finals, barely, but they are through 1-0 against Gabon.
Absolutely good result for Nigeria. Puts them in the semi-finals as I kind of expected. Angola and Kenya next up.
One of these two.
Angola the favourites, maybe?
Possibly, yeah. One of these two start putting a fly in the ointment for Nigeria. It is Angola through to the semi-finals. They're 2 wins away, but they do have Nigeria to deal with.
Yep, not an easy task to deal with. Nigeria, of course, are the red-hot favourites. Egypt and Senegal, our next match. Senegal, of course, 4-time African winners. Egypt have never won the African title.
Yep, could they go one step closer with a big win here over Senegal? No, Senegal will make it through to another semi-final.
Good result for Senegal. Ivory Coast, the champions of Africa, take on Morocco, who were semi-finalists last time.
Yep, Ivory Coast looking to maybe do the double. They're in the semi-finals. They're in the chance.
They are penalty wins for Angola, Senegal, Ivory Coast. Not many goals in those quarterfinals. Only 3 goals across 4 games. Nigeria and Angola, our first semi-final. Will we see some more goals here, I wonder?
Will we see more shocks, I wonder, like we did in the Asian qualifiers at this point? Or will Nigeria romp home to the finals? It is 11-1 for Nigeria. They are trying to make a statement here.
They are taking the piss, aren't they? They are taking the piss. They saw all the ones and the zeros in the last round. They thought, okay, let's get more than 1-1.
No, let's just add a couple of these ones together, you know.
Yeah.
What's 1 plus 1? 11, of course.
There you go. Nigeria, 11-1 winners.
In the semi-finals.
They are taking the piss, aren't they?
Who will their opponent be? Will it be a rematch from last year's final? Or will Senegal make it to the finals for a rematch in last year's quarterfinal? One of these two is going to be a potential demon for Nigeria to slay. It is Senegal. The champs are out at the semi-final stage.
Yep, Senegal progressing through to play Nigeria. So we'll have history made. Nigeria have a chance for 8 titles. Senegal have a chance here to level Cameroon's title counts. Can you believe that?
Big for Senegal, big for Nigeria. Senegal can move into joint second. Nigeria could, well, put more daylight between everyone else. Let's see who it's going to be. It's Senegal! They've done it! 5 for Senegal!
Wowee.
Nigeria failed to do it again!
Senegal with the upset of the century. An 11-1 win in the semi-finals doesn't matter. Senegal have... I tell you what, Senegal's run, by the way...
Egypt, Ivory Coast, Nigeria. Yeah, that is nuts.
And they also beat Cameroon in the 16 as well.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Senegal win number 5.
Yeah, they go level on titles with Cameroon there. Are they the second best team in Africa now? They must be, right?
Surely they are at this point with that victory,
because
I think.
Cameroon, okay, they won, 5 of the first 10 titles in Africa. Cool, whatever, right? Senegal have won 3 since we've got onto YouTube, which is the most out of anyone in Africa. Nigeria have only won 2 since going to YouTube. Senegal have won 3. They've won, 2 in the last 3 years. Wow, Senegal, fair play. My hat is tipped to you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great run for Senegal, and hell, we may just be forgetting completely about not Nigeria's, but Ghana's giant killing run if Senegal can carry on this run, because that's an amazing run to a championship.
Yeah, they knocked Cameroon out, they knocked Egypt out, Ivory Coast out, and Nigeria. Who did they play in the first round? I can't remember.
Can't remember. Unfortunately, the game's not programmed well, so we can't go back.
That's a shame. But look, even still, they beat 3 African champions along the way. That's crazy.
Yeah. That is
wow.
A big run for Senegal. And, well, I think if there's any African team right now that has a chance, even in this very, very stacked African section, that I think has a chance of doing well, you got to go for your champs, haven't you? I think Senegal.
Yeah, I think Senegal, at the moment, obviously we saw in Europe, Asia, I don't want to discount them completely, but I don't think it's going to be a particularly fun time in the finals for Asia.
It very rarely is.
No, it's true. Unless there's a mad upset, India gets to the final or something, I don't know.
South Korea are back. So
true. But I think Senegal could absolutely go toe to toe with the Italys, your Netherlands, who have qualified so far.
Yeah, they're certainly in with a shout, I'd say. Nigeria's in there as well. Yeah, Ivory Coast is obviously no slouches either. There are some big names in there.
Well, food for thought.
It certainly is, and well, we've only got 2 weeks left to go. Next week will be our penultimate stop to or our final stop to the Global Trophy Finals with the American qualifiers. Obviously, last year, the champions Brazil, after Argentina's very early exit to Paraguay in the round of 16. Argentina looking for absolute domination and revenge here.
Yeah, of course, last time around they didn't make it out, did they? They didn't make it out of the Americas section, knocked out by Paraguay, of all teams. Of course, former Americas champions themselves, but yeah. Still no three-peat for Argentina either. They've won so many Americas titles and still not got a three-peat, and they won't be able to get one for another 3 years yet.
Yeah, but Argentina are going to be on the warpath, and that's, I think, going to be scary for a lot of the American teams, but they are not unstoppable. We know this, or they would have won the last 20 global trophies. But they are the reigning champion of champions, so could they go in for, what is this, their 12th?
Yeah, 12th title. If they win this year, it's their 12th title.
Which, by the way, would equal Australia again.
I know, the eternal battle in the eternal battle for silverware, Argentina have a chance to go level and potentially beat Australia for the first time in history.
Well, if they do that, they will also make history. They'll be the first team in Global Trophy history to be a continental champion, the Global Trophy champion, and the champion of champions at the same time.
Yeah, no one's ever got a triple crown before. Brazil have got 2. They've won the they won the Americas section and they won the Global Trophy Championship at the same time. But they won the Champion of Champions at the same time, but they didn't win the Global Trophy for a few years now. So
yeah, of course we've seen a bunch of doubles. Obviously, Netherlands last year did the double as well. It's gonna be very interesting. But we've got that next week, and that will be the final stop on the road to the Global Trophy Finals 2025. I've been Masterath.
I've been Sven-Göran Eriksson 64.
And we'll see you next week for the Americas qualifiers. 24 teams have made it through to the Global Trophy Finals. We just need 8 more, and we'll get them in America. We'll see you next week.